Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and guys, today I just want to thank you again so much. Can't believe how far this channel has come. It's crazy seeing how exponential the growth has been. Now, today I have something really special. A friend of mine actually lent me this to be able to review. So, this is going to be my first ever mouse review. So, I'm going to be reviewing the MCHOSE L7, the Ultra version, and yeah, let's see what kind of mouse this is. How good is it in gaming, and do I think this is worth the upgrade for what the price is? So let's go straight into the unboxing, and please make sure to like and subscribe.
So starting off with the unboxing of the MCHOSE L7 Ultra. So we're going to get my X-Acto knife and open this thing up, and yeah, take a look to see what's inside the box. So this time around, I'm actually not going to be doing a super fast forward of the unboxing, but we're just going to we're going to take it slow and just really see what's inside this box. Now, underneath where the mouse should be is where you're going to get this accessories box. So open up the box. Right inside we can get a nice braided cable. We actually get the USB dongle, so that's going to be the receiver dongle inside as well. Now that dongle is actually the 8K dongle, so this mouse is 8K friendly. It does work with the 8K and wireless and wired, and they also give you these extra pads for the bottom of your mouse, so it's gonna over time you can change it, or if you'd like to change up the design, you can actually use that as well and make the changes. So let's go and open up the actual mouse, and yeah, of course, take a look to see like what's inside and how does this mouse look like. Now, it does feel incredibly light on my hands, so I thought it was really impressive to feel how light this was. Like when I got my mouse, the one I have, which is a VGN Dragonfly F1 Pro, I believe. That one felt light compared to my other mice. This one feels so light, so we're gonna have to weigh it before we really go into more in depth of this mouse. But yeah, this thing's incredibly light in my hands. Like I was actually quite surprised. It felt like almost holding nothing. Now you can see there has a 2.4 and even has Bluetooth, so you can actually use Bluetooth as well, which is really cool. Now weighing it, we can see this thing is only 40 grams. Really impressive. Now, I do want to go in a little bit in more depth with this mouse. So this is the MCHOSE L7. They did have a sale discount that was going on, and yeah, me and my friend actually ordered one, and I got to actually check it out. So they actually lent it out to me. It has this really nice design. When I look at a lot of the MCHOSE mice, it actually kind of reminds me a lot of like the Logitech mices. So definitely a very similar look. So for those that are out there, when you look at it, it might look really familiar to you. So this thing comes with the PAW 3395 or the 3950 sensor. Now, that sensor is more of a newer sensor from what I've kind of looked into. And when I compared it, say, with or did some research comparing it to the Logitech Superlight, people were saying the Logitech Superlight is slightly more performing than this sensor, but when you consider the price difference, like the Logitech Superlight's like almost like $200. This thing is about $60 USD. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge knowledgeable person in terms of the exact sensors of these mice, so please don't take all my word for it. I'm still learning in terms of mice, and I'm trying my best to actually figure it out. So I'd love to hear in the comments things I should be looking up for, things that you guys are looking up for that would improve these reviews, of course, because this is the first time ever reviewing a mice, and of course I really want to learn, so that at the end of the day I want to be able to provide videos that you guys want. Now, as you saw here, so this thing has 3 different versions: the L7, L7 Pro, L7 Ultra. So $46, $56 USD, and yeah, so you have a huge range. I think it's better to spend the extra 10 for the L7 Ultra if you're gonna get one. But as you can see in the comparison with like the Viper, which is about almost $200, the Viper 3 V3 Pro, and same thing goes for the Superlight. So this is a really nice pickup, especially if you're looking for something that's a lot more affordable than, say, Logitech or Razer. Now, I did do some testing in terms of like aim labs and even playing it in games. So this right now is with my original mouse, which is the VGN Dragonfly. Now, I really like this mouse because it has a nice hybrid grip, and it was really cheap. Well, not super cheap, but like I think I bought it for about 60 Canadian at the time. So 60 Canadian with a 4K. So it's a 4K mouse with the 4K dongle, which is actually a lot really big compared to this MCHOSE dongle. But I really like this mouse because it's a nice hybrid grip and it's quite small, but it's so much heavier. And yeah, I mean, I'm not as warmed up maybe for this, and usually my aim's much better, especially because I used to do a lot more aim lab practice. But yeah, I mean, comparing this to the MCHOSE, like which you'll see as well, like this is just me doing aim labs, and I'm not doing so great. Like my aim is like really iffy, and every time I'm trying to flick onto the target straight away, it's definitely having a bit of a hard time. And yeah, I mean, look at my score. It's a 84.8% accuracy, which is really horrible. So let me switch to the MCHOSE, and yeah, let's see how I do with this one, you know, and how it feels in the hand. And of course, I'll kind of go over what I feel and yeah, the smoothness and everything in terms of the clicking and everything. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual tool set to like check the latency and of clicks and movement. So please, in the future, hopefully I will be able to grow this channel to be able to do something like that, even more technical. Now, maybe it was because I'm warmed up, right? Like that's one of the possibilities, but using this mouse, I felt a little bit more accurate. Now, have to keep in mind, I'm using both at 1600 DPI with the same sensitivity in the game. And I've just felt it much easier to like go right to the target. It might be because I'm more used to a more sensitive sensitivity, and because this mouse is a bit lighter, this is something always to keep in mind. If you get a lighter mouse, you're gonna have to work on your sensitivity because it's gonna feel different. And I actually felt so much more confident with this mouse. It felt really smooth. Clicking had no issues, and I really actually enjoyed using it. It was really great. As you can see, like the score is so much better than it was before. And yeah, I was quite impressed. I mean, using this and comparing it with my VGN, I actually really enjoyed this, but I'm still not used to the whole palm grip. I like the weight, and I like how the mouse clicks and everything. It's just the shape of it has not worked for me per se, just because I do prefer having a little bit more of a hybrid. I actually go in between paw and grip, so I'm like a little bit more of a hybrid grip. Now, in terms of the mouse wheel, so this is also important. Like when I play Apex Legends, the mouse wheel is quite important, specifically for tap strafing as well as bunny hopping. And depending on the mouse you get, if you have a mouse that has a really bad mouse wheel, it's gonna feel really bad to use when you're playing Apex and trying to tap strafe. I know one of my friends actually took one of my mice that I used to have, which was the Pulsar, and they liked that one much more, the scroll wheel, than the mouse they had. I don't exactly remember which one they had, but the scroll wheel for them was really bad, and they had a really difficult time tap strafing. Now, in terms of the MCHOSE, I felt really good with it, specifically when it came to making quick movements from left to right. I actually realized, and I didn't realize this before, but the VGN compared to this MCHOSE mouse wheel was actually a bit more difficult to do quick tap strafes. Like where I wanted to go right, left, and make really sudden movements right and left, especially like with the momentum. The MCHOSE actually was really good for that. And surprisingly enough, yeah, I mean, like it was a much bigger improvement. The VGN scroll wheel is actually quite heavy feeling compared to the MCHOSE. And as someone that, you know, I thought this mouse was like really great when I first started playing Apex, and you know, I went from using a Logitech, I think it was a G703, to the VGN. It felt so much better for me. But yeah, moving on to the MCHOSE, it felt even better. And in terms of my tap strafing, it felt like it was just a completely different feel. Like it was way different. Like you could see in this footage where I'm trying to do the more of a circular movement, or like in a way it's called RAS strafing. I can't do actual RAS strafing, so it's like my own version of like just quickly moving around. And yeah, the MCHOSE scroll wheel, gotta say, much better feeling than the VGN. So really nice for that. And more recently, I've been getting into a very new game, which is called Delta Force. This is something that me and my friends are enjoying. I really do like playing FPS games. So I was trying to see, in terms of actually playing FPS games, because I'm not going to be playing CS or Valorant. Those are really games that haven't been able to get into, unfortunately, especially because I'm just horrible at them. But yeah, so this is going to be going through just a bit of footage using this MCHOSE. And please, sorry guys, that sometimes the footage in terms of like the mouse on the bottom right corner is it's not perfect. It's because I was using my phone originally, trying to see if I could record the actual gameplay plus using the mouse. Unfortunately, that wasn't working out so great. And then I'm going to be using, of course, my new camera in terms of doing a little bit more as well. So this is just the basic footage of me using a sniper, and it felt really good. I mean, it's not like I'm not doing crazy flicks or, making crazy movements with the mouse to get a really good idea in terms of how great it is. But yeah, going into actually playing the game and using it, it felt really comfortable. In the beginning, I'm gonna be honest, and originally it took a bit of time getting used to, just because of the weight of the mouse. But in terms of using like recoil control, specifically because I'm a very low level in this game, so I haven't been able to actually get all the parts for a gun to make it much less recoil. So the recoil is actually quite heavy. So now I'm like having to make a lot of adjustments to counter the recoil, and this mouse felt really great to do so. I was using originally my VGN, starting off playing Delta Force, and then trying this mouse out. Felt good. I had no issues with it. There wasn't any latency issues. There wasn't any issues of like lag or anything with this mouse. It worked perfectly fine, and it felt really nice actually. I was quite surprised using a mouse this light, and of course, I'm sure some people out there are using mice incredibly like much lighter than mine, but this felt really incredible. And the more and more I was using it, I felt much more comfortable with it, and of course I started performing way better in game. Now that was much later, and of course I don't have the mouse now because I was borrowing a friend's, but using this mouse felt really nice, and it was incredibly interesting to see how each mouse can feel so different. And I've been trying to get more into mice, and this game is actually incredibly hard, I noticed. But yeah, it's been interesting, and sorry there's only a little bit of gameplay just because I wasn't able to record so much, especially with the limited equipment I had, and my computer, unfortunately, it's not so great in terms of recording both things at the same time. So I want to, of course, show you guys the actual software. So we're going to go into the MCHOSE website, go in there, and it'll actually tell you like which, depending on the product, which software to use. So we're using the MCHOSE driver, and it gives you all the information there. So it tells you what kind of connection you're using, of course, on the top, which is right now have it on the 2.4 because I like using mice wirelessly. So this is incredibly great to actually be able to use this like this. You have the mouse with like choosing different commands, like how you want to use it with the left click, right click, and the side buttons, as well as you have a middle click. So you're able to set up however you'd like to. You can also set up macros. There are configs. You can change the polling rate as well on this mouse, so you can run it at the different polling rates. You can set it up at 8K, or you can use it at 4K, or you can use it at 201. So those are the different choices you get while using the software. Now, it is a basic software, to be honest. Like when I remember using a Logitech, this is definitely a much more basic software compared to that. But I would say you get exactly what you need. Now, going more in depth and looking at the mouse and my thoughts of it is, I think this is quite worth it if you're looking for more of a budget mouse. In terms of the clicks, it felt completely fine. I found that the mouse itself was incredibly light, looks great. One thing though, it is kind of glossy and it is quite slippery. So if you are someone who likes a little bit of a mouse that slides really well on a mouse pad, this has a really good slide compared to say other mice that I've had, which are a little bit heavier and don't move around as much. Like that is my VGN Dragonfly, and as you can see, I've been using it for so long, the Dragonfly is actually disappearing. But comparing the two, Yeah, I mean, I do love the shape of the Dragonfly a lot more than the MCHOSE. As you can see, like how the MCHOSE actually curves down and is more of a paw grip than a hybrid or claw grip, and the VGN is actually like a hybrid grip. So if you aren't used to a hybrid, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be hard to get used to with this specific one because this is a palm grip. Now, as you can see, that is the dongle for the AK. Now, it's an incredibly small dongle. I was actually quite surprised how much smaller dongles have gotten. My VGN one is like double the size of that, which is crazy to think about, and it's a 4K dongle. I do think though that in terms of the glossiness though, you're gonna have to be careful. So one thing I noticed with this is it will smudge, it will leave fingerprints, and you will actually notice quite a bit on your mouse. So if you have like grease on your hands or anything, it will really show on this mouse, which I think is not the greatest because hands tend to sweat. If you have a sweaty hand, you will really notice it on this mouse. Like it really lives an imprint, so you're gonna have to be careful with this, and you're gonna have to actually wipe it down quite often, which is a big con in my terms. Like I think it's a big con because sometimes like during the summer I have really sweaty hands, and I don't think that's a really great design choice. So keep that in mind if you're someone with incredibly sweaty hands. But I think if you're looking for a mouse under $60, this is a good bet.
So let me know down below in the comments, what did you guys think? I think this is quite the interesting mouse. Like, if you take a look at it, it's really clean. It's incredibly small and it's incredibly light. I was quite shocked of how light this mouse was. Right, I was using it for gaming, and compared to my mouse, which is the VGN Firefly, so I bought that because that was supposed to be a budget mouse that could do 4K. This does 8K. This dongle is so much smaller. This is half the size of my VGN dongle, which is quite crazy. Now, I think for $56, if you're looking for something budget and you want a nice mouse, this is definitely something to look at. Though, just keep in mind that this is going to be more of a paw grip than a claw grip because of the way that the mouse is shaped, right? So it goes like this. You're going to be looking at more of a palm grip than you will be looking at a claw. Claw might be uncomfortable just because it is a little bit long. So keep in mind of that. So if you are a palm grip type person, this is definitely not the one that you should be looking for. And if you're if you're a palm grip person, this is the one that you should be looking for. If you're a claw grip person, this is definitely not one that would work for you. So please let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. And please let me know how I did in this review of a mouse. First time doing it ever. And let me know how I can improve it and what I can do better for the next time. Because I really want to keep improving and expand the reviews that I do. So I'll catch you guys next time. And please check out the other videos I got.